Hey everybody, it's Carrie, your friendly neighborhood makerspace librarian from the Rapid City Public Library, back for another science short. And today we are going to be looking at another chemical reaction. This experiment is called the disappearing eggshell. So, as I'm sure you guys are all familiar, this is an egg. And all around the outside of our egg is a shell. And that shell is made from calcium carbonate. It's also the same thing that you'll find in chalk, in limestone, seashells, and pearls. And the cool thing about calcium carbonate is that it reacts when it's put with acetic acid, which is found in regular old vinegar. So let's take a look at today's disappearing shell experiment. So here we have our egg inside just a simple mason jar, and I'm gonna add simple distilled white vinegar. And I'm just going to add it in there until that egg is pretty much covered. Okay. Make sure we got the best view of it there. Maybe there. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit because what I want you guys to see is that there is already a chemical reaction starting to happen. The acid is reacting with the calcium in that eggshell. And you can see from all the bubbles along the bottom of the eggshell and along the top. And what we're going to do is we are going to let this rest for about 24 hours, and then we're going to revisit it. We're going to let that chemical reaction keep doing its thing. All right, guys, we're checking in on day 2 of our disappearing eggshell project. That egg is still completely covered in bubbles, which means our chemical reaction is not done. It is still taking place. And along the top of the liquid there, you can see a whole layer of foam. So things are definitely happening in that jar. We're going to trade out some of the vinegar that has already sort of used up all of its acidic properties. We're going to put some new vinegar in there, and we're going to let it sit for another 24 hours. And then we'll do the big reveal. All right, guys, day 3. And you can kind of see in there, there's bits of eggshell floating on the top. I don't know if you can still call it eggshell. And we're starting to see the clear parts of the egg. So I'm gonna take this out, rinse it off, and bring it right back so we can really take a look at it. And here we have the egg, completely without its shell. So what is keeping it in that egg shape, you might ask? Well, underneath the eggshell is a very thin membrane. It's made out of protein, so it doesn't dissolve from the acid. You might notice, however, that this egg is a little bit rounder and a little bit larger than when we put it in the vinegar solution. And the reason for that is because of something cool called osmosis. This membrane is not hard like a shell, so it doesn't act as much like a wall. We call it semi-permeable, which means it's going to let some things through. And what it's going to let through, it's going to let into that egg some of the water and the vinegar solution. And it's going to do that until the pressure inside the egg and the pressure from the liquid outside the egg are about even, which basically just means that our egg has expanded. It's taken on some water. And you can see it's kind of squishy, but you can totally hold it and touch it. So if you ever wondered, what does it look like underneath that shell? This is the way we can find out. And of course, the first question most of us had was, does it bounce? Well, you can take a look and see for yourself. That is it for today's science short, guys. Thanks for following along, seeing our chemical reaction for the disappearing eggshell. Hope to see you back next week for another science short. Bye, guys.